Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another Game Pass Grab Bag Sidequest episode where we are talking Xbox Game Showcase 2026. I am your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. With me, our moderate gamer, Keith.
Hello.
And our returning guest, Aaron.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's really always an honor to be on these episodes. I know it's rare, so I cherish them.
Well, appreciate that you carve out the time for us. I know it's hard to find the time. So
it is
hard
tough
to get you on.
It is very tough to get me on. I got a very, very busy schedule, but you know, I thought I'd do it for you guys.
But do you know who else has a very busy schedule? Us, because good golly, was there a lot of games announced during the showcase, and a lot of them are very close. But yeah, this year, Xbox, obviously, they did their annual showcase. And so this was Asha Sharma's the new CEO. This was her first showcase. Not only that, this was Xbox 25th anniversary was also the kind of highlight of the showcase. But man, you know, Asha Sharma, ever since she's been CEO, has really been trying to mix things up. She's really keep saying like, oh, we're going to go back to the roots. You know, we're going to go back. We'll make Xbox great. And, you know, she's obviously has done some pretty good things. We've actually had some episodes where we talked about, you know, some great things that's been going on, or at least promising looking things that have been going on. So I was really interested in this showcase. It's like, okay, you know, now that she's been a little bit more established, this is going to be something I guess she's really going to kind of focus on in the showcase. Is she actually going to bring stuff to the table? And man, I got to say overall, I really like the showcase. I did not like the beginning of it. The first like 5 games they showed, I went, oh boy, this is kind of troubling, because literally the beginning of the showcase was things we've seen before. You know, Gears of War E-Day, they did Fable.
Yeah, but you were seeing more of those things.
Yes, but I was like, you know, we already saw this last year. Like, I'm already sold on these. Like, I don't need to see it. But obviously, that's what I liked about the showcase. To me, I felt like they very much were like, hey, yeah, these are things we already announced at the beginning here. Or, yeah, let's
get them out of the way.
Yeah, get them out of the way, exactly. And then it was like, oh, nope, new thing. And boy, I like the showcase a lot.
I was digging it. So just about every year, it falls on my daughter's dance recital. And so I never.
You say, sorry, honey.
Yeah, hold on, Keith, can you double check your mic?
I think you're far away from it.
I don't know if you're too far away from it.
You're
You're just a little,
there
you're a little quiet.
Got a little far. So just about every year, at least I don't get to watch it live because I'm usually at a dance recital. No complaints about that. I can still watch it, but this year I got to tune in live, and so it was fun. And I was excited to just watch it because usually I end up scanning it. I don't like to watch things back after the recording, like sports live. I'll just
it loses its magic.
Yeah, if I can just watch the recap of something, I'm like, yeah, I'll usually just do that. So this actually brought me into watching a lot more of the trailers more closely and more than maybe I normally would, and so it was pretty fun. I liked it a lot though. I think probably because I don't always stay as close to trailers except around these times of year per se. You know, you're saying like, oh, we saw all these things. Fable I've seen, and some of them I have, but I felt like from the get go, I was just like, cool, you're just hitting out, you know, hit after hit right now, and I was impressed really from start to finish. I liked it, so I was feeling it.
You know, Andrew, you kind of hit on something though that you know, I've been thinking about, because more news has come out around Asha Sharma over the last couple of days. She's been doing a lot of interviews kind of around that showcase. And I was sitting here thinking, like, has she made one even minor misstep yet? And I don't think she has. And
no, I mean, granted, it's only been 100 days, she said, but still.
Sure.
It was
but
like
she's done a lot in the 100 days.
Yeah.
And that was a real minor misstep, so to speak. But the whole
was?
like when she came out with her gamer tag in like the first week. Again, that was a real straw pull misstep, so to speak.
Well, I actually don't.
I still think that there was some validity to it. Like, I don't have any doubt that she put some of the hours into it, whether or not it was all.
Oh, and I thought of a minor mistake she kind of did.
But either way, that's when I'm saying that, yeah, it's there, but I think that's more of an internet mistake than a true one.
Now, the mistake you're thinking of, Andrew, which was recent,
Yep.
which she owned up to it online, but I think that was all coming from Matt Booty. So
Possibly.
I get it. She's CEO. She's going to take ownership of that,
Which is a nice change of pace. I
which
feel
is
like
a
Phil
nice,
Spencer
yeah, which
wasn't
is
really
nice
taking
change
much.
of pace. So I kind of get what you're saying. So maybe she did. I mean, she takes ownership of that, so fine. Maybe that's her kind of minor misstep. But in her 100 days, I feel like she's done a ton.
Well, hold on. You didn't say what the misstep was for the listeners.
That one, okay, that one was
The
specifically,
logos.
yes, they were going to continue to use PlayStation logos on the trailers, which I still argue is kind of stupid.
Well, no, the main reason people were arguing, which I think makes sense, PlayStation already did their showcase, and
I
they
know.
specifically only put PlayStation logos. They did not put anything else.
It's petty. It's
It
petty.
is.
It's a petty thing PlayStation does. I don't care. It's still such a silly thing to get all worked up over. And even Keith, kind of going back to your thing, I think what happened is when Phil Spencer left, Phil Spencer was beloved by a lot of people because he was a gamer. It was well known he loved to play video games and played a lot of video games. So what immediately happened, and I guess it makes sense on the surface, a new CEO is coming in of a gaming company. Well, how much of a gamer is she? And when it was like, oh, she doesn't game that much, then that became the thing. But I think we're already learning now, you didn't need a gamer CEO.
No.
You needed somebody who understood the brand and understood how to protect the brand and grow the brand. And that's, I think, what she's feeling right now and kind of proving. And she keeps saying, and again, kudos to her, that they're listening and they're reacting to the listening. So
Yeah, and I think this showcase was an example of it.
I think the showcase is a great example of it. The fact that they even were, I'm going to guess. Oh, okay, yeah. I just mentioned the news around Asha Sharma recently. In this showcase, we specifically got 2 titles that will be Xbox exclusives, which I am a little curious about. I do want to look that up. Does that mean Xbox and PC exclusive? I'm assuming it does.
I'm assuming it does.
Because they are investing in the handhelds, which are ultimately a PC. So I'm assuming it's an Xbox. I think it's just saying console-wise, you can get it there, and then PC. She supposedly wanted more to go exclusive. Oh, hi, Keith. She wanted more to go exclusive. Do you just want me to hold?
No, just keep going.
Okay. She wanted more to go exclusive, but they were told Phil Spencer basically already had a contract with Sony. Yeah. So she wanted to do more. And so, okay, she took that feedback, and I think they are understanding if we're honestly going to protect this brand, we have to protect the games that are on it. Smart. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. I do wonder how long that holds, though. Some people think this is a setup.
I don't know. So, like, this is to me what's crazy of kind of what's going on right now. Like, Phil Spencer, when he was basically in there, he sounded defeated. I mean, he basically said we were defeated. We're third place. We're not getting out of third place. Like, this is it. This is where we're at. So we're just going to kind of make the best of it. It's basically kind of his stance. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but that's literally kind of what he was saying of just, we're third. We're going to stay here. Asha Sharma was saying the complete opposite. She's already said in interviews, by 2030, we're going to be number 1. She's already announced that we're here to fight. And it blows my mind that, like, because everyone else is seeing, like, even PlayStation Showcase. Like, PlayStation Showcase was okay at best. They announced a couple games, the new God of War that people are excited for. But that's it. They really do not have a lineup. And they don't have a lineup for a while. And it was like, this is a perfect prime time for Xbox to take over, because this showcase, the previous showcase, they are showing games, and they're showing games that are coming out within a year. That was usually Sony's thing is like, oh, this game's come out in 2 or 3 years.
This generation will end up being, I think in the future, it'll be one of those things that Xbox looks back on and realize, gosh, that was prime for us to take.
Yeah.
Because the PS5 era really has not had much. And we've joked in previous episodes that Xbox games porting over there were dominating their store because they had just struggled to actually create first-party games. They went, Sony's whole process this time around was, we want to make a lot of live service games.
Yeah,
and they have.
and that's been blowing up in
I
their
mean,
face.
Destiny's basically dead.
It is dead.
Well,
They just came out their last patch. The servers will stay up, but they said there's no more content. It's done.
Yes, but will there be a Destiny 3 in the future is what I mean. I
No,
don't know if
they said it's not in production.
well, it's not in production, but all that stuff can change because they said Bungie's still going to remain around. There may come back to that someday in the future. But yes, for all intents and purposes, Destiny is dead. Concord died. You know,
Marathon's bleeding.
Marathon's in trouble. So they've had a hard time on the live services thing. And I think Xbox is going to look back at this and go, how did we mess that up? Like, we were primed to take it all back in the Series X PS5 era and failed. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. But hey, again, she's saying all the right things. Here's the question though. And this is the behind the scenes stuff that's really interesting. It's obvious they pushed what's his name out?
Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer. They pushed Phil Spencer out.
Well, they definitely pushed Sarah Bond out.
They definitely pushed her out. So here's what I don't get though. Was he defeated because he legitimately was out of ideas, or was he defeated because of the directive coming from Microsoft? And why that's interesting to me is this, again, first showcase that we are seeing in person, not Microsoft Gaming Studios. It is back to Xbox Gaming Studios, which was already announced.
Yeah.
But to be Microsoft Gaming Studios implies that was probably not a Phil Spencer decision. That had to be coming from Microsoft. So what is it? Did Microsoft realize they screwed out and had to kick Phil out to bring Asha in? Like, or did Phil really just give up and they kicked him out to bring Asha in to fix it? I'm not really sure what happened there.
I'm sure a little bit was Microsoft.
It had to be.
But I don't think all of it. Like, definitely the this is an Xbox campaign. Everyone keeps saying it's a Sarah Bond thing. A lot of the third party, everything kind of, like Xbox going more to a publisher. It sounds like that was more of a Phil Spencer thing. So I think, yes, Microsoft probably did a little bit, but majority of it, I do not think so. I mean, Phil Spencer, he already kind of knew and we talked about that he was planning on retiring. So that's the thing too. He probably was just done. Like, I'm retiring. I don't care what happens anymore. And he was kind of grooming Sarah Bond, basically. You take the reins. I'm just going to sit back, keep collecting my money until, I hit retirement. You take over. But obviously the thing she was doing was not a good idea.
It sounded so sudden though. It sounded like, yeah, he planned on retiring, but they gave him kind of the extra push to make that happen a little sooner. But before we kind of continue into this, there are two other pieces of news that I thought was pretty interesting that came out of just discussions around it. They did say exclusivity would kind of be dependent on game, which I am totally for.
Yeah.
I've always said, like, I didn't really care too much about exclusivity because I do play on multiple things, but they said, hey, heavy multiplayer games that need large bases, we might open up to others. Totally fine with that. Makes sense. But it sounds like kind of their big tent poles, they want to remain in-house. Totally cool with that. The other thing that was kind of interesting, this came out, I think, today. They interviewed Asha on, maybe it was Bloomberg Business or something like that. And she said the appetite from the consumer for a $1,000 console is not there. And Microsoft needs to be aggressive in how they reach those customers.
That's smart. I'm glad that she's seeing the writing on the wall.
Yes.
It's about time a CEO sees it.
So again, another kind of one of those things that's like very smart. She understands that from the very beginning. But what I thought was kind of interesting in her comment is her saying that Microsoft needs to be creative in that. And that's why I've mentioned on this podcast before, why not reward your long-term Game Pass subscribers? That is reoccurring. That's RMR. That's reoccurring revenue every single month. That's where you're going to get the subsidy on the console. Knock $200 off of it if you've been a Game Pass subscriber for more than a year. Like, those people are going to remain Game Pass subscribers. That's Microsoft. Take that idea. Asha, you know what? I'm going to tweet her. She does seem to respond to tweets, so I'm going to send her a tweet. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Well, you guys will see because I'm sure that will go out in the future.
If you're wondering why Keith hasn't talked in a while, he apparently is just having internet issues. Keith, and just technical difficulties just go hand in hand.
He does love technical difficulties. Big fan of them. Big fan.
You there, Keith?
Can't hear you.
Now your mic's not working.
So he's on video, but we cannot hear him. So I think he's miming to us that he can hear us.
All right. So we will interpret Keith's words here. He's saying, guys, I think I'm an idiot. I realized I have my mic on mute, but I don't know why.
Burn. Roasted. And he can't even respond to that roast. Dang. I guess while Keith continues to figure that out, Andrew, what were some games that stuck out to you?
Well, hold on. I want to go a little bit more off your point of the other thing that because
good points.
Yes, with the hardware because that's at least where we want to start off. So Xbox at least announced a 25th anniversary console, which is the see-through green, and to me, awesome.
I want it. I want it so bad.
I want it so bad too. I literally was telling Liz this. But it does concern me. They did not announce a price, but I'm like, man, this is probably going to be $800. And honestly, I'm like, I kind of want to buy it. I don't care if it's $800 because.
Is there any improved specs on it? I'm not saying it's any less cool.
Not that I've heard of. I think it's literally just the color.
Is it Wi-Fi 6 at least?
I'm sure they probably did that.
Yeah, wasn't there new ones? They upgraded a couple like small things in it.
I just love that they kind of styled it after the old controller too.
Yep.
Like that thing is just
and the old Xbox. Because that was a very early 2000s. Was that neon see-through colors?
That was such a 2006. Do you remember how many different versions of N64s came up looking like that?
Yeah, I was thinking IMAX.
There was phones.
I get it that it's just a great, but I love the freaking controller.
It's so great.
I want that.
I did have one question because I might have missed this in my absence in popping in and out there. You were talking about how she doesn't want to have $1,000 console. Did she talk about game prices and how a $90 game is absurd, or was that not part of the conversation?
No, I didn't see anything about the game price because I think a lot of that's just dictated by the market. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily like the market kind of just agrees that games are more expensive, so they've been raising their prices. But I don't think that that's necessarily a decision that falls on hers. The company obviously has control over the price of their console, but games are made by publishers from all over the place.
No, that's fair. Plus, I guess one of their big pushes Game Pass in the big picture anyways. And their first party titles, putting them out on Game Pass is all part of the ecosphere, so to speak.
But we've seen kind of an interesting push though. I know I've mentioned this on previous episodes too. We've had a lot of mega hits come out that were like $30 games. A lot of them have been on PC, like they've been on Steam, not necessarily on Xbox. But, I was commenting on that before, that when you looked at like the top 10 most played games, it was like 6 of them were under $40. So, there has been kind of a shift in that market in the sense that like indie games are being they're made very good at a good price. So I am kind of curious to see what that does in the future. Like I do think some of these gaming studios have gotten really bloated.
Yeah, which I think Asher Summers already kind of said that like we want to do that. We want to make smaller, just better made games.
Well, they should take shots at things.
Yeah,
like just take crazy shots at things.
Phil Spencer used to do that.
Yeah, it's just. Do you remember years ago? This was like a big thing with EA, and EA still does do it. But do you remember that one year? Because this was back in the E3 days. So you would get the presentations from all of the big publishers. They don't do that stuff anymore. But I remember that was like a big thing with EA. They were so bloated on just mega titles that they then kind of developed an indie line. So they would just publish indie games for people. And they had a bunch of hits come out of there.
You sure you're not thinking of Ubisoft?
No, I'm thinking of EA.
Because Ubisoft did that same thing, and that's
Everyone
where
did.
Rayman came out. That's
Yeah,
where Valor Hearts came out.
all the
Child
major
of
ones,
Light.
all the major ones kind of ended up doing this. Heck, even Xbox was doing stuff like that in the back,
Yeah.
back in the day. But I remember EA when they did that, and they had a bunch of mega hits come out of there, and now everyone's kind of gone away from that stuff. You probably should just take gambles on these smaller companies that are out there doing something really creative, and get them to build. So all that to say, there was a lot of exciting stuff here. She's saying a lot of the right things. I do think she needs. I worry one thing for her. She does need to be a little careful on listening to the gamer crowd too much. I do think this is an incredibly fickle group of people that are really difficult to please. You know, heck, what was it, like 3-4 years ago? Literally, the gaming world complained about console exclusives and how stupid they were. And here we are, back to, or remember, we want crossplay. We want crossplay. PCs are cheaters. Get it out of here. I don't want crossplay anymore. It's constantly, we want this thing. And then they get the thing and they're like, that thing sucks. I don't want it anymore. And they do it all the time. All the time. Drives me crazy. So I am a little worried that she just make sure, don't just jump the gun on every time a gamer complains about something, jump on it. Like, there might genuinely be some good ideas there, but there is also some really bad ones they're going to turn on you real quick on later.
It will never stop until Call of Duty puts in a map that's the size of a janitor closet.
It's happening.
Because that is the actual size the map needs
No,
to be.
that literally was last Call of Duty. The map was a closet.
It wasn't real.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was on April Fool.
Yeah, it wasn't real.
Well, even still, that just needs to be it. That's Nuketown, just a closet.
Yeah.
But like this is what I love of the console coming out. Like this is what I think people want. Like they want Xbox to feel like they're fighting, because it's with Phil Spencer, it just felt like they gave up. And so now it's like, and as you're saying, Aaron, like there's loyal people out there. I mean, heck, we're one of them. Like we've always been doing this. Obviously, we're not like the salty gamer crew like you just mentioned, but people want to have the passion that Xbox used to have. And that's what Asher Sharma was saying of like, let's go back to our roots, what we used to be. Because Xbox used to be a community. And like everything on the showcase, like to point to it, like PlayStation just increased the price to all their consoles. Now their pro models over $1,000. And like their base model, I think, is like $600. So like coming out with this really cool console, like that's all they need to do. Like you don't need to come up with this fancy spec of a console. If you're just coming out with cool styles that people want, like people will start buying hardware again. Obviously, it depends on the pricing, because they didn't announce the price, which does make me a little concerned. But even the console exclusives, so they had two. They announced this one, Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. So I'm not too upset that what's already announced is still multi-platform, because to me, once again, is a smart idea. Give those PlayStation people, hey, here's the first Halo. Do you think it's fun? Buy an Xbox and play the other ones. Same with Gears of War. Oh, you like the first Gears of War? Well, here's the new Gears of War, but you got to get an Xbox to play it. Like, to me, it's smart. It's giving the PlayStation people a little bit of a taste. This is what we have. Come on over. And, PlayStation's consoles are expensive now, and they aren't coming in with any new models. Here's a nice, cool green one. So I think it's just super smart of just them just starting to, hopefully bring people over.
I do think, though, we are kind of running into a world where, very similar to like cell phones, I think once you kind of get into an ecosystem, it's really hard to get out of that ecosystem.
Yeah.
I don't think it used to be that way, but I think it is nowadays, because all these consoles, much like your phone, is really good at getting you locked into it. And so it becomes harder and harder to get out of that ecosystem.
But if your phone's not getting up with the apps, Apple's getting all the apps and the Android's not, eventually people will start to switch.
Possibly.
There is a drought on PlayStation.
There is. They just need to put out, how do you recapture like a Halo launch day? Like, how do you recapture that? Because that was the 360 era was that, and then they had the Call of Duty exclusives when Call of Duty was absolutely killing it back then. So
Yeah. But I mean, they just kind of captured a little bit of a moment. If you haven't saw at the end of the showcase, Matt Booty and Asher Sharma came out, talked to the fans, and they said, if your badge says fan, you're getting one of these new Xboxes for free. So basically, it wasn't for the media people that were in the room. But if you were a fan, you were getting this console for free. And I think that's what they need to do. They need to price this console maybe $500-$600, take a hit financially. But if you price it at a reasonable price, because like I said, PlayStations are so expensive. Like, they'll take a hit, but I think people will actually jump ship and come over to Xbox.
yeah, it's tough. I don't know how you solve, like, obviously we don't know the back end business side of those things.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they lose money on those consoles, and obviously
Or they
with
did.
markets,
I don't think they do much anymore.
they do. It's still really, really expensive because usually when you're like AMD creates the chips for all the consoles. AMD requires you to sign on for a certain amount of consoles. So we will build your chip if you're going to build 10 million consoles, at least. Like, that's what they're locking you in for. They said this was the reason why they canceled the Xbox handheld, was because things were so expensive that AMD required a really large buy-in for it. And Microsoft was like, we don't know if we could actually sell through those. Judging by what the other handhelds are selling at, we don't know if we could sell through that, and that's what canceled it. So I just think there's a lot that plays into it, and I just think the markets are so wacky. RAM is still very expensive right now that I do think you'd be taking a massive hit, and they would have to. It probably takes them a long time to recoup.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some of the games that were showed here. So, as I said, the first game that was showed, which is, I got to say, was kind of weird that they started off the showcase with Gears of War E-Day. Because they already announced, hey, Gears of War E-Day, there's a whole show, a 30-minute show at the end of the showcase just for that. So to me, it was odd that they started with a trailer of it. And it's just like, well, you already dedicated 30 minutes to it. Why are you doing a trailer?
Yeah, but it's like the first trailer.
It is. It was.
So the ending was the deep dive.
Yes.
To me, this was just the first trailer. I didn't have a problem with it.
But I got to say, the deep dive, I didn't care for. Like, did they
Really?
I had to step out of it here and there a little bit to help with the kids. Did they talk about multiplayer at all?
They talked about the horde mode.
Like, very lightly. I heard they talked about like
the only thing I remember them
PvE
saying was
mode.
it's the 120 frames.
Yeah,
on multiplayer.
but
that was
that's
kinda it.
kind of it. And to me, this the direct at the end was just like, oh, there's facial animations. Yeah, there's 2 new movements. You can now slide and jump, which actually is pretty big for a Gears of War game.
Yeah.
But like, it literally was just, oh, the graphic fidelity we're able to push, and graphics this and gore that, and it was just like, well, I want to know about the game. Like, to me, it didn't feel like they really told me much about the game. It was just, the game's gonna look really nice. All right, that's cool. I figured as much.
It was definitely a story deep dive, which
Yeah,
I think I'm okay with because
you don't need 30 minutes for that.
I don't know. Like, they were showing the facial animations. They were kind of giving you an idea that the city is its own character. And I think all that stuff is really promising to hear. I think those games are known for their stories and their characters. And that did seem to be a lot of what the attention was going to. So you seeing what the characters look like in just street clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought some of that stuff was pretty cool.
I mean, I'm very excited for it. Like, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
most people
I'm
were.
very excited for Gears of War E-Day. To me, I thought it was kind of surprising I felt like there wasn't a lot of information that was given in the direct that I kind of already saw in the trailer. Like, the direct didn't make me go, oh, like, I remember last year they did Call of Duty. That direct, I was like, well, maybe I'll actually check this Call of Duty, which clearly shows, you're a sucker to trailers, because then I played that Call of Duty and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Never mind.
Yeah. But I'm surprised they didn't do another Call of Duty direct, because Modern Warfare 4 right now looks actually kind of interesting.
I like the setting.
Yeah.
It's
In Korea?
Yeah, when you're kind of running out of ideas for settings, and like, I mean, graphically, these games do look really impressive. Like it is crazy that they do make these games in such short turnaround because you're like, oh, this actually looks really impressive. But yeah, a Korean-based game is kind of smart. So it's, obviously Modern Warfare, but in South Korea. I'm into that. Like,
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Better than I could in the last one. I remember the last trailer for Black Ops and just being, what is this? Like, what is happening? I don't like that at all. This one I did like a little bit more.
What about you, Keith? What did you like?
I actually thought it was almost like bold to go with Korea. I mean, I know in previous games they've done Russia, they've done current countries, but it felt a little too accurate, I guess, for modern. That was my one thought, but otherwise I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, it's going to hurt their sales in North Korea. They need to be careful.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but just in general, it was, I don't know. I just felt like it was maybe a little bold, but maybe not. Maybe not. Either way,
I mean, if you think
looked
about
cool.
it, like that is what a lot of people critique now. It's like, well, if you make the Russians the bad guys, like you're probably gonna hurt your sales in Russia. Or if you make, so that's why, like, yeah, with Black Ops, it was generic military people. Like, I don't even think, like, the Spec Ops group you're part of is a mishmash of all the countries, but the people you're versing against are just generic mercenaries. And so that's what people kind of complain about. Where like it's not grounded anymore. So it is your safest bet to go North Korea because what, you're gonna hurt your sales in North Korea? Like, oh well. But yeah, what game did you like, Keith?
Of them all, I don't know, maybe it's not all that weird, but what was it, that Bad Magpie game?
I knew you were gonna call that. For me, I was saying that.
It looked like Untitled Goose Game.
Magpie game?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That was exactly what I thought, and I was like, "This is cool. I'm into it." I loved Untitled Goose Game, and so I was excited for Bad Magpie. Crazy Taxi obviously looks wicked cool. I don't know if I missed you guys talking about that one.
No. Bad Magpie though is not from the same people who did Untitled Goose Game.
Really, I meant to. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, but I am because it looked almost identical. But
I know. Yeah.
either way, I think that looks like it'll be fun. Surprisingly, and I don't think I'll go to it unless we do an episode on it or something. Those new missions for the Halo campaign Evolved looked pretty awesome. The space dogfight one there, at least that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
So that looked pretty awesome.
I did not care for that trailer or whatever, the showcase. It almost took like a goofy fun tone.
A little bit, yeah. With Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah, and some of his lines were like, I don't like this. I don't know what they're going with. I didn't like the vibe. Visually, I mean, beautiful. I mean, the game looks absolutely beautiful. I just didn't like the tone of that trailer. It kind of made me, and I didn't really like it.
There was a lot of goofy comments. I will agree with that. I don't know enough Halo lore, at least in terms of the deeply playing all the games and the likes, to know is that a common thing. But so it didn't really stick out to me too much, but it was noteworthy.
Because I saw some people complain about what you're saying, Aaron, online, and then people were obviously posting like, "No, Halo's always had really goofy dialogue," and they did. Like a lot of it is kind of like hidden, but they do have some goofy dialogue. They always have.
Highlight it here though.
I agree.
That's the thing. Like Halo had always been this giant space epic. That's what it's known for, and this is the campaign. Lean into that. I just didn't care for that.
But they showed just about like all the weapons, because obviously there's not a lot of weapons in Halo 1, but you saw the Covenant carbine, or no, the needle carbine. You saw a new brute weapon. It looked like there was a couple other ones that just did. Oh, the fuel rod cannon, like that's not in Halo 1, but it's gonna be now.
Yeah. So, a game that's really funny to me on this list is, and it is funny too because of just it being on Game Pass now, is Wolong. Do you know why Wolong is kind of interesting?
Was it a PS exclusive originally?
Is this going to be a racist comment?
No, Keith is onto it. So, Wolong, the original one, was supposed to come out for Xbox and PlayStation. And then mysteriously, towards the end, they say, "Oh, Wolong isn't actually ready for Xbox."
Nope. You're thinking of Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, I am thinking of Black Myth Wukong. Never mind. Wolong 2. It's cool.
Wolong was
Everybody looks cool.
Wolong when it came out was day one on Game Pass.
Was it?
Yes. It's a Dark Souls, Chinese feudalism kind of game.
Oh, yeah. All right, scrub that.
Yep. So it did, and it did leave Game Pass, but it was interesting that when they announced Wolong 2, they brought it back to Game Pass. I really wanted to pick it up. I heard a couple of people on the Discord played it and talked very highly of it. And I remember I played the demo of it and I thought it was pretty cool.
No Dynasty Warriors.
I just wish I was good at Souls like I want to like it, because I love that era of games, and a lot of it, or era of history, and a lot of it has to do with Dynasty Warriors, like you guys were saying, and I'm just like, man, that looks fun.
So jealous.
We'll be so terrible at it. It was like the Pinocchio one.
Yeah.
Oh, Liza P. I loved Liza P.
That game was too dang hard.
Oh,
But so cool though. Like, and I was so mad that I couldn't get through it.
that final boss in Liza P was brutal, but man, that game was a blast.
Game is brutal.
Yeah.
Can't do those. I'm amped for Clockwork Revolution.
That's my game of the show. I cannot wait for Clockwork Revolution. It looks so good.
Since the day they showed it off, I have never lost interest from it. It's like every time they show it, I'm more and more into it.
Same.
It gives me, this is controversial, but my favorite
BioShock
game is Infinite. How'd you know I was going there?
I just knew. Because I obviously compared this game to BioShock Infinite.
I know. BioShock Infinite is one of my favorite BioShocks. I love that game so much. And this game gives me those vibes.
I feel like with more trailers, it's looking more defined of its own.
Yes, it does.
Yes. When it first was announced, everyone was like, this is exactly like BioShock Infinite. Because I think you were even in airships. But I don't think it's the case anymore.
Yeah.
Like, to me, too, the time travel seems a little less prominent. Like it's like choices you do. But like this game is definitely looking way more of its own than looking like a BioShock clone.
Yeah. Do you know what was my sneaky favorite game on this list? Like unexpected, saw it and was like, that kind of looks fun.
Castlevania?
No, Join Us.
Honestly, that was probably my least favorite.
I'm with Aaron, because that actually, I mean,
the concept of it is cool.
Well, I already saw there is a cult leader simulator, and I thought that's what that game was. I was like, oh, they're bringing cult leader simulator, but then I was like, wait, no, this is world premiere. I will say there's things about it that look good and look interesting, but I don't know, it looked really kind of all over the place and goofy. But I like that it's like, oh yeah, here's Cthulhu, here's aliens, and it's like, okay, like this game's doing some crazy stuff.
I know. It's either gonna be absolutely horrendous or a pretty fun time. Yeah, it almost gives me it almost gives me like Goat Simulator vibes.
Yeah.
Like over the top nonsense.
And it's what, 1 to 4 player?
Yes, co-op.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I saw that and I was kind of like, all right, that's an interesting concept. That could be kind of fun.
I mean, the thing that, I mean, it's pretty apparent, so I don't think I'm saying anything shocking here, but it doesn't take itself serious, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because if it tried at all to take itself seriously, then it would be not fun. Like, if it was just trying to be dark. Being dark with some humor is gonna work, almost like Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Like that works so well. I'm also very excited for Senua. I will say I was less impressed with this like premiere of it than say the last one where we got fighting the giant scene. Like that was epic and probably hard to beat. But just knowing how much I liked the other two, I was excited for this one.
See, this is one thing I love. Another thing I'm really going to praise about the showcase, I am so glad. I feel like developers are fixing the names of their games. And Senna is a perfect example. Because like this, yes, it's another Hellblade game, but it looks drastically different. So to be like, oh, this is Hellblade 3, but then you're completely doing something completely different, like I feel like we kind of tick some people off. To me, this is very much like, oh no, like this is now a kind of new series. It's still part of the Hellblade, like obviously you're still playing a Senua, but like this is a whole type of new game. Because obviously they kept saying that in the feedback of Hellblade 2 of people were complaining of the combat. Oh, it was just this really was a walking sim. The gameplay was really lacking, and they said, "Oh no, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that," and it showed. Like this, honestly, looked kind of close to God of War, a bit more hack and slash, stealth, assassinations. Like this is a different style of game. It honestly, yeah, I agree with you, Keith. It doesn't look as graphically impressive, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with honestly probably more of a game. Like I want more of a game style game.
Well, it doesn't mean we won't get one of those cutscenes in in
Yeah,
the game itself. It just mean I'm just saying from the trailer perspective and that premiere of it, like they hyped up the second one from the beginning. Like
yeah,
that scene was just and it honestly played out too. The rarity of them showing something like that and then you actually play it and you're like, wow, that was exactly what I watched on the showcase or whatever it was. That was a rare experience. But yeah, I think if it's more of an actual fighting game, because we we talk about this a lot. I love that Norse mythology or wherever it kind of lives within, and you're interacting with all these gods, like to be able to take their powers and use them, kind of like God of War esque. I just think it will play really well.
yeah. But another game going off with like developers fixing the names of their game. The other one I really liked was Resonance, a Plague Tale Legacy. Once again, it's part of the Plague Tale series, but it's not. Oh, it's Plague Tale 3, even though it's completely new characters and all this stuff. It is. Hey, this is its own game. Resonance. It's a part of the Plague Tale series. So to me, that looked really cool as well. I love the Plague Tale series. So to see them coming out with another one, I will say I'm a little disappointed of if you played the end of Plague Tale 2, there was a bit of a hint as to where the story was going, and it sounded like it was kind of more modern times. But it looks like they kind of switched, beats here a little bit. Now it's kind of like ancient Egyptian, I guess, at least like Middle Eastern-ish kind of area. But once again, it looks very heavy in the action because, the Plague Tale games, the first two, are very kind of more slow, kind of puzzle solving. There was some action and stealth, but it really wasn't known to be heavy action. But this is way different. It was kind of surprising to me. The plague looked to not really be existent till the end of the trailer, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's rats here, and the plague is still here somewhere.
Don't forget there's rats.
Yeah.
I was very unexcited for that game. I don't care for rat game.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, you hated the Plague Tale games, but me and Liz loved it.
And I just drag my annoying little brother along through some rats. Right? Sounds like a ton of fun. Another game I wasn't excited for is Minecraft Dungeons 2.
Oh, what?
Did you
I
did you
love Minecraft Dungeons.
did you go back to the first one? Because maybe this is where I'm wrong too. Because I remember playing the first one and just being like, eh. It was very.
It's a Diablo
nothing.
light. It's a Diablo for kids.
It was almost not even light. Maybe for kids, but it was not even light. I felt
No,
like.
it was. It was. The first one was fine. I think the concept is there. I'm actually kind of excited for the second one because I'm really curious to see if they kind of fix some of those issues from the first one. But
you know why I don't trust it though?
Why?
Is Minecraft Dungeons 2 had a lot of that kind of like, it was fine. And then they came up with what? Minecraft Legends? Or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, that was an RTS.
And you would have thought, like, hey, this is their opportunity to learn from that mistake. Change the game, I know. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but, like, actually deliver on that promise. But instead, they went, here's a really weak version of what we offered. And I just think Minecraft Dungeons 2 is going to end up falling in that category. I'm open to being wrong, and I'm even hopeful that I'm wrong. I don't see it playing out. I think it's going to be a money grab.
I'm an ARPG guy, so
I like an ARPG. I love an ARPG even. I don't think this is gonna play out that well. I think it's gonna be fine.
I'm not saying like it's gonna replace Diablo 4 for me. Like I don't think it's gonna do anything like that.
Sure.
But I think there was enough there on that first one. One of my big complaints on the first one is the maps were really long.
Yeah, they were.
It kind of felt like it took you a while to get through there, and it's just the whole idea of these ARPGs is kind of speed and doing these runs pretty quickly and kind of doing boss battles pretty quickly, and it was structured differently. If they found a better way of doing that, and then again, I think crafting should be a big part of it. It is Minecraft, so craft your weapons. Find ways to mine for stuff that allows you to craft weapons. Literally in any modern ARPG right now, everybody leans super heavy into the crafting side of things. Even Diablo 4 now is massive into crafting instead of just finding. You're kind of finding something that's close and then crafting it into what you really need. And I think Minecraft Dungeons, it's literally in the name. You should be doing more of that. So that's where I'm hopeful, because I do think this could work as kind of a simple ARPG. I think there were just some areas that needed to be tweaked to really get it there. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
Well, if I
could play
recall,
with my kids.
the loot system was very much just like, here's a green, blue, purple item, and then there was like four
it was
or five
boots, chest, and
categories.
helmet was basically it for gear too.
Yeah.
And it was
And a
like four
trinket.
categories there. And again, you're right. In terms of playing this with my kids, it would probably be a lot of fun, and I'd be fine
It was
with
also
it.
split
I guess.
screen.
But yeah, I think I was just. I'm thinking of it in terms of a little bit of depth, and I would like some there. I just don't know if it's going to end up giving it to us. That's all
I just remember playing with Keith because me and Liz and Keith actually all played together, and you just constantly kept dying and getting hit by mine carts and getting
Sounds
lost
about
off the
right.
cliff, and you were getting super pissed while me and Liz did everything.
That's why he's mad at it.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
It was too hard for him.
Sounds accurate.
You know, it's another game on here. It's not new, but I do recommend this game.
Sea of Thieves?
I've been playing it on PC. Where Winds Meet. It is kind of wild. It is a free-to-play game that is basically mostly single player.
And surprisingly, it's not a fart joke.
It's really fun, and it is really dense with content. And yes, it is not a fart joke. In a way, it kind of reminds me, now like in retrospect looking at it, it kind of reminds me a lot of Crimson Desert, where Crimson Desert is one of the most dense games I've ever played in my life, where it's just infinitely things are happening in it. And Where Winds Meet is very similar, but it was free to play.
Well, to me, it just looks like another Asian free-to-play gotcha game. To me, it's
No,
just
but
like,
it's,
like
that's the
a
thing,
dozen.
though. It's not really heavy multiplayer. There is some multiplayer elements to it, but it is very much made to be played single player.
Really?
Yeah. No, I highly recommend it. It is one of those games that has a really, really big audience for it, and it is, I wouldn't call it a gotcha game. There are obviously elements to where it does make money, but not the same as like a Zenless Zone Zero or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I kind of categorized it as.
Well, at least now that it's added to Game Pass, don't they usually give like perks for it or whatever now?
Yep, that's
So-
what the trailer was announced, that there's Game Pass perks.
Yeah.
All right, there you
But
go.
the other thing, just to kind of go quick gloss over some games here, but the other thing that kind of shows that Microsoft's here to fight was how much these games are actually targeting the Asian audience. With Wolong, you got Persona 4 Revival that was announced here, but not only that, they announced Persona 6. Like, it's crazy that they announced it here on Xbox, not PlayStation's, not Nintendo's, which are already very heavy in the Asian market. Castlevania, which is Konami, once again, very heavy in the Asian market. Granted, it does very well here in the West as well. But Where Winds Meet, also very heavy in the Asian market. Like, to me, this is very much them, like, showing people, like, we want to be here for you. And I really I can't believe that they announced the Persona games and the Castlevania, because Nintendo just did their direct. If anything, I thought it would probably be on Nintendo's, but nope, here on Xbox.
Well,
but it looks very cool. I
Castlevania
like
goes all the way back
Castlevania.
to Nintendo, right? So
Yeah.
it almost would have made sense. That's a good point.
But Valor Mortis, that was another very surprise one. That one, I really like that art style. It looks very kind of zombie, but during the Napoleonic War, first person with some parkour. Like, there was a lot going on in that trailer, but that was a very cool trailer.
Yeah, kind of hard to tell what that game is going to be, but yeah, kind of at least a flashy and cool trailer.
Yep. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts were, but I don't know. I'm a little wary on this trailer, but State of Decay 3. I love the first two State of Decays. I'm sure I'll love it, but this one looked way more heavy on the action.
I didn't like that trailer.
Yeah, to me, like, it feels way much of a different game. Like, the first one, they very much try to do stealth. If you start shooting, like, you're going to attract a lot of zombies, and fighting a lot of zombies is very difficult. You might lose your characters. But in the trailer here, it's just blah, 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 man, let's shoot all these zombies. Everyone's blowing up grenades and everything like that. And it's just like, okay, this looks very different of a game. From what I've heard, though, it looks like it's a 4-player shared world, progressive kind of world. The map is supposed to be 3 to 4 times bigger than State of Decay 2. But they still said, the base management stuff is still there and everything like that. And they said it's supposed to be, I think, a little bit harder because the map is supposed to be more adaptive to what the zombies are going to be doing and them mutating, and they're going to be hunting you a bit more. But yeah, to me, it just looked way more heavy action.
Yeah, it felt more like a Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Than it did a State of Decay. Yeah, it was. I just don't think it was a great trailer for a game. People have been waiting years to really get more on. I think last year, I don't think they showed anything from it.
No, they didn't. Just another trailer. They did.
Yeah, so it was kind of one of these, like, you needed to see something, but then you get it and you're like, I don't know.
Well, that was the alpha is going on now.
That was the kind of thing I was thinking, is just being able to show something off for it, because I thought it was something that people have been asking for a while. So
yeah, I just think like the base building stuff of State of Decay is really interesting. The survival aspects of it are interesting. Not necessarily action. It's not what I think about when I think about those games.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just odd.
But yeah, another one that was a big surprise to me that I thought was really cool was Magicians: The Devil's Deal.
Yeah.
I thought for sure, I was like, oh, this is another Dishonored game. Those character models are spitting images of Dishonored. But unfortunately, that studio is closed now ever since Redfall. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is from some of the ex-devs. But this was a studio that has been around. They have made some games. But this was a cool game because it's very old school magician. He has the black wand with the white tips and him flipping his wand around and doing just basic card tricks. I was like, this is a really cool idea of a game. Yeah. The devil is also a very generic olden red guy with horns and a pointy chin. I was like, this is a really cool style game. I'm excited for Magician.
Yeah, I agree. That was the other one that kind of stuck out to me as a surprise. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
But yeah, I don't know. That was basically most of everything I really enjoyed. I love that they announced a new Spyro. Doom: The Dark Ages announced an expansion.
It did look kind of cool.
I did it. I don't know. You have a spear now, and I'm like, okay.
Nothing. I mean, nothing like wowing, but it looked cool. Just Doom.
I mean, it looked like Doom.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys talked about Fable. And if you did, and the only reason I bring it up really more than anything, because I know we've seen a lot of it, is they dropped that 30-minute gameplay trailer today. I still haven't fully watched it because
it's cool. It's today. Very cool.
Yeah. But I read some highlights on it, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for Fable. If that 30-minute gameplay trailer and things at least I saw about it, what you guys are saying about it, I'm pretty excited for it actually.
The only reason I haven't mentioned it so far is because I'm done with Fable. Like I'm sold. Like I don't need to see it.
No, it's fair.
I don't need to talk about it. Like literally my needle is not moving anymore. I'm good. Just I'm waiting for it. I don't care. You don't have to show me anything else. I will say the trailer did surprise me. It got me excited because like it first started with just this female talking and it said Playground Games. And I was like, holy crap, is Playground making a third game? Like, is this a completely third game? But it was kind of a cool. I guess she's going to be the antagonist of the series. Like this was meant to be a more story, explaining the story of what's happening in Fable, which was really cool because we saw Jack and Ives, I believe his name is, who's from the original games. Like he's back in it, and it's like okay, this is cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm done. I'm ready for Fable.
I will say they bait and switched me though, because she's doing this whole speech and lead up, and she's like, "There's only one person who can save it." I'm waiting for him, like, and it's you.
I thought she was going to say, yeah.
It's me. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, oh, so is she a character created person? Because they were showing that in the trailer that there was character created people in it. And it's like, oh yeah, this is cool.
But they tricked me. Me. I was ready to hear it, and then it wasn't me. I'm not the hero, except I am.
Yeah.
So.
But the other thing I also want to point out, so this showcase did also show a lot of, they did a lot of dates, or at least like set soft dates. So there's obviously some coming out in 2027, but this did announce a lot of more concrete dates. I gotta say, it's so funny. the massive gap of November and December. Like I think there was a couple that were still coming in December, but clearly every game is just avoiding November, getting away from Grand Theft Auto. Heck, is even Call of Duty? I don't think I saw a
Call of Duty
date
comes
for
at
Call
the
of
end
Duty.
of October.
It is okay. That's funny because they're always November. It's always their first week of November, but now I guess it's October.
I mean, they're about that. Like they've been doing some, I think, in later October. So I don't think that one's crazy unusual. But yes, there is an obvious. Everyone's just evacuating GTA 6. Like be nowhere near it.
Yeah, because Fable was supposed to come out then, but they were like, nope, it's February now. Let's give it more time.
Did you see that one game, which is good marketing? That one game that is dedicated to launching the same day as GTA 6.
Which one, Barbie or Godzilla?
No.
Because those are two games that are coming out the same week, too.
No. This was like some indie game. And then when like GTA 6 announced they were delaying it a year, they're like, we're not afraid. We're delaying our game too. And so they delayed it just to make sure it was going to launch the same day as GTA 6. And I was like, that's just good marketing though.
It's just ready to go for just a year just sitting.
Yeah, I think it was a Revolver Studio game.
Devolver?
Or Devolver, which is
I mean, they have just big enough to be able to be like, yeah, we can do that without taking a huge hit.
Well, Devolver is all indie stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but they're
great indies too.
But they have a good catalog, like Andrew was saying, that they have the money that they can be like, yeah, we'll hold off on this, just because that marketing alone will add value to it.
Gosh, that's so funny. I didn't realize they did that.
I didn't either. That's great.
Just reading offline because journalistic integrity. It says
you're actually looking something up.
Digital has publicly pledged to release a new game on November 19th, 2026, the same exact day as GTA launch.
But then it's in the game what it is?
They did show it, but I'm trying to find what the game was. But I can't see it anywhere. Oh, but there's like all sorts of articles about it. Devolver Digital isn't running from GTA 6 like others.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
All right. But let's wrap up here. So I want to ask you guys, though, what would you give the show? Give it a letter grade. So I'll start this off. I got to say, like I said, I thought the showcase was very good. To me, this was a showcase that is showing Xbox is here to stay. It's here to fight. I will say I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting maybe a little bit more surprises with this being the 25th year of Xbox. I was kind of hoping for some other surprises to really celebrate, where Xbox has come and what they plan on doing. We got a hardware, we got a console, but there was, there's been rumors circulating the new Xbox Elite 3 controller, but that was a no-show. There was no announcement of Project Helix, what its name's going to be, anything like that. So there wasn't a ton of wowing moments, but the showcase had games. It had a lot of games, a lot of new games, and just about every game. There's some that didn't, but all of them are Game Pass. There was a couple you could see on here that didn't have the Game Pass logo, but a lot of them had day one Game Pass. Awesome to see. But yeah, great round of catalog of games, from Western studios, Eastern studios, but to me, this was a very solid, good showcase. I'm giving it a B+. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like grading things suddenly in a letter that just throws off my whole system.
I announced this before we recorded, Keith.
Well, an hour is considered sudden in the grand picture of how we rank things, Andrew. I can make it happen. But overall, I thought it was good. I liked it all. I liked the games. Again, probably the one that stood out to me the most was probably the smallest game of them all. That Bad Bagpie game just looked like a ton of fun. And I'm just genuine, genuine fun. Actually, maybe Crazy Taxi. That really surprised me. I don't know if that was actually a surprise.
So glad they got the Offspring.
But yeah, having the Offspring play, like it was a Sega title. So you don't necessarily guarantee the luck of getting a Sega title, I guess. I don't know. I feel like Nintendo and Sega do a lot of business. So having that available on Xbox and being on the showcase, that was cool. I liked that. But yeah, I would put this in the 80s. So yeah, I would say a B. Sounds right if that's what we're going to do this time.
Yeah, we are.
There's only one thing that would have truly done it for me. I still really want to see what their plans are for the future of Halo. Like, I get we're doing this, and we've had a lot of talk about them moving to Unreal Engine. This would have been an out of the park slam dunk if they say this is a return to Xbox and you showed Gears and a new Halo. I think that would have just been an unbelievable moment here. That and a new Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of hoping something like that, too.
You know?
I mean, we got Spyro.
You got Spyro. I guess that probably satisfies that.
We
We
were
were
slap in the
PlayStation
face
kids.
to Sony because I was
Yeah.
that was a PlayStation
That was a
game.
Sony thing. I'm kind of with you guys. I think this is a B. I would have given this an absolute out of the park if either A, there was some type of surprise drop, which I'm not one of those that needs one of those every single time, but if there was, that would have pushed it over, or if we straight up saw something for a new Halo. Like if they showed Reforged and then it immediately kicked into, coming soon, and then it shows what the new Halo is going to be doing. I'd be interested to see where that goes. But yeah it's a B.
But that's what I at least like about the showcase, because I feel like the next Halo is many years away. And you could tell, Xbox is avoiding that. They don't want to announce games that are going to be 3, 4, 5 years away.
So
because they're still kicking themselves over Elder Scrolls.
The only reason, though, I kind of push against that one a little bit is, wasn't it last year when they announced they were now Halo Studios? They're not 343. And then they showed some concept art, and they talked about the future. So it already kind of gave me an idea that something's been percolating, and it should. It's, again, your tentpole. It's been a few years since the last Halo came out. Just to even kind of give you a teaser of it, I think would have made sense here to say, hey, Xbox is back. And these
a new Halo TV show.
Yeah, so we got a new season of Halo. It's coming back.
Everyone wanted
More
Master Cheeks.
Butt.
Yeah, so Master Cheeks. But yeah, to me, that's the only way you could have improved on this. So it's a B.
All right, man. So we both all kind of fell in the general same area. So thank you so much, Xbox, for a wonderful showcase. Please tell us your thoughts in the comments. Go to GamePassGrabBag.com. Check out our website. You can find all of our past reviews and some of the games we've done. Top right corner, you'll find the links to our Discord, our YouTube, all our things. Please make sure you come by, say hi. We always love hearing from you. But yeah, I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01N52. And until next showcase, we'll see you then.
Oh, no new episodes. We'll see you next year.
Yep. We're done. We're strictly Xbox Showcase show now. So that's it. We're just announcing it down the outro. Love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.